see, I guess maybe what I ought to just start with right here, having read the release for the first time, just to double check that. So July 8th, were you supposed to go on vacation? Were you due to take a vacation and then you found this out, or were you just approached, as this says, by the general manager saying that you were relieved of the responsibilities?
I don't take vacations. I mean, every once in a while I'll take a few days off, but as a general rule, I don't go on week-long vacations. I've been in this market since '77, and I haven't had a vacation, so I wouldn't abruptly take a vacation, in the middle of a summer that I thought I was going to probably get 20 share of the royalty, because everything that I've been doing for the last 3 years have been leading up to putting together a masterpiece, as far as Cybotron is concerned, as far as our listeners are concerned. And in the summer, like I was just on the verge of my final march, to a point that I really wanted to get to. And so, as the press release states, I haven't been on vacation. I wasn't scheduled to go on vacation, and I didn't go on vacation.
Did these people, say that you were on vacation? Did the station, say that, or?
Right, the station released that information to the press.
Okay. So, as far as the general public knows, you're still on vacation, from their point of view, right? Or have they said definitely that you're not coming back at this point, or?
Well, they have made a statement to the effect that I no longer wish to renegotiate my contract with them.
Okay.
And that was made, after the vacation statement was made. So a lot of people probably, are still under the impression that I'm on vacation, simply because, that was the word that got out there, and it was out there 2 weeks. And I made that statement only after the public had been saturated with the vacation story. Because it's not to my advantage to talk about JLB, and it's not to JLB's advantage to talk about me, so therefore, I had no desire to just create, paper war. And, I still think they're a good radio station, and, they have a direction that they feel like they have to go in. And I still think I'm a good person, and I have a direction I feel like I have to go in. And I was satisfied with the direction I was headed in. That's probably why we're not together now.
Why do you think they would go in and rock the boat, or the ship, as the case may be? The things were happening, you were happening, the show was happening. Why do you think that, as I understand it, they wanted you to change your format either to an earlier or a later format? Could you clarify?
No, I was dealing at the same time, but they wanted, basically, control over my format.
Oh.
And they wanted to basically do the format for me. I would have, a limited input, and I've never been in that position. And when I'm on the radio, I take, full responsibility, for my destiny. If I make a mistake and fall on my face, I'm willing to do that. And, if I, touch the stars, I just look for some more stars to touch. That's history.
Then as far as the station, could you sort of see why it was that they wanted to have control of? Obviously you were already making the inroads. I guess from my point of view, I'd say, why would they want to get in and mess with a guy who's already doing well? Or did they sort of suddenly start wanting to take maybe responsibility for your success on that station? And impose their own little niche.
Well,
I don't want to put any words in it. Yeah.
I just don't think that we should get into all of the ifs and ands and their reasoning.
Oh.
Because, it's probably a sensitive subject with them, but, I guess you could say that they're taking the form.
Well, I was going to say that basically I don't want to second guess why they did it. And I guess it goes back to the original statement. They belong to them and I belong to me.
Right.
And they felt a need to rock the boat. As to why, God only knows. And as to why I didn't want my boat rocked, I could tell you. I've been in this market since 1977, and the people who listen to my show have given me overwhelming support, and a quarterly vote of confidence when the Arbitron ratings appear. And while my association with WJLB was financially advantageous for me, any artistic curtailment that I would have allowed would have lessened my participation in a show that I've always controlled, and to consider the financial advantages for me over the concerns that it may have presented for people who listen to me, would have been unfair to the public, to my public. So, it's just a matter of you have to put principles before finance.
That's right. So let me tell you what. Check. Okay. Everything's good. You mentioned about the audience. How does it feel, not being on the air right now? Now, you were on how many nights a week?
6 nights.
6 nights a week, and suddenly you're not. You must feel kind of. Well, how do you feel? And before I go put words in your mouth about that.
It feels different, Suddenly, I had a big percentage of time that I had to redirect. But in the past 8 years that I've been in this market, I've sent out nothing but positive vibrations, and because of that, I expect to get those vibrations back, meaning that I expect to be back on the air soon. So I just, and while I was on the air, I always kept a real low profile, and like I could walk down the street, go to the festivals, and I'm just a face in the crowd. So, had I been a person that was very, very visible and like everywhere you go, you have to explain to people why you're not on the air.
Yeah.
I still see the same people, that I see every day, and I still go to the same places I go. And, we just walk on by each other. It's just like, physically, I'm just obscure. And, but when I do see people that, that I know, they say, hey, we miss you. And the feeling is mutual. But I guess there are times when the artistic side of me dominates, and then there are times when the business side, takes over just to keep the artistic side running smooth. So, since I haven't had an artistic demand since July 8th, I'm taking care of a lot of business that I had to take care of.
Oh, so it's not like you're climbing the walls yet, anyway. Though.
No, I don't think I will, because like there was just a time period that from 10 until 3 that I spent being me, and now I'm just still being me, just relating, on a different level. And putting together, a new show, and well, not entirely new, but just my show always changed, like from night to night. So I could never really just put together a show that's standard and just say this is the way it's gonna be. Now when I go on the air, all the stuff that I'm thinking about now, I might just feel entirely different, and but whatever it is, it's just gonna be a reflection of the reality that I see.
So you don't see any you never entered into any of that with just a strict format of what you were going to do. It sort of changed as you did.
Right.
Kind of like almost a mood or something.
Yeah, it's a movement, not a format.
All right. You mentioned about thinking about putting together a new show. Can you tell us a little bit? I don't know if you want to talk about that yet or not, but is there any kind of little inside you can give us on maybe what some of the, once the new show premieres, what we can expect?
It's just, I think I probably just have to wait until, September. I expect to be back on around September because, different things happen every day, and different music, appears on the scene every day. So I listen to a lot of stuff. I keep listening to music, and there's some good stuff that's out right now that's not on the radio anymore. And some awesome stuff that's out, and people, kind of like are limited to a degree now because I never really played by the charts, what was hot, in the music charts or what was selling in the record stores, because I never really liked just following trends. I mean, I'd rather, make trends, than follow trends.
Trailblazer.
And, because it's more fun that way. Because you get a chance to open doors as opposed to walking through doors that are already open. And when you open doors, you can select, which doors you wish to enter. And it's risky because you can fall on your face or you can touch the stars. You never know. But I think if you keep the force with you, you pretty much know it.
That's cool. Yeah, that's a real nice analogy too about taking a risk like that. You say you can either fall on your face or reach for the stars. I guess I never thought about that in terms of radio programming, with that kind of adventuresome spirit could be as much a model for people who are to do with their own lives too. Personal message. Before I get onto that, let me backtrack a little bit and I don't know what you can talk about with it, but what do you see up the road here in another month or so? Can you tell us at all about another station or stations, or exactly what the immediate future might hold?
Well, it's going to be historic for Detroit radio. It's going to be a president setting.
So do you think then, is that to say that you'll probably be staying in Detroit?
Definitely. I'm a Detroiter. And, I think I belong in the Metro Detroit area. Because to go, since I've been off, I've gotten offers from New York, Chicago, Dallas, Los Angeles, but just to go, because I think I could go, or because there's somebody else to say come. To go just because of that, I think it would just be kind of like an ego move, and I'm not really into ego, because I think ego and radio, there's a definite clash because you kind of like lose perspective with it. You lose your track of reality to a degree, because like Detroit, like I know Metro Detroit, I know the people, I know what they think, I know where they live, I know what they do, I know what kind of cars they drive, I know what kind of neighborhoods they live in, I know where they work, I know what freeways they drive on. So I've done a complete psychographic analysis of the whole metro area. So, I'm physically in tune, mentally in tune, demographically in tune, psychographically in tune. So, and to go to another area and say, well, Mojo, you got a 16 at midnight in Detroit, you got a 37.4 with teens in Detroit, why don't you come here Because, if your numbers are that great in Detroit, I know you could just wipe up in New York. I know you could wipe up in Dallas. I'd have to go into those areas and just study it, just to see what's happening. Because it's a movement. It's designed for Detroit.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a lot of work digging all over there. But do you feel, you apparently feels a lot of your roots being in Detroit, that you want to keep that thing happening?
Yes, I'm staying in Detroit. I'm not leaving Detroit even if I don't go back on the radio.
Wow.
I'm a Detroiter. So,
even if you don't go back on the radio, do you think you'd actually entertain the notion of not going back on the radio?
if it meant compromising, the things that I believe in, in my approach, to doing my show, because I'm just not going to do anything other than, what I've always done. I'm not, because, I think you have to get to a point where you say, hey, just like, you belong to you, I belong to me.
Right.
And you have to go the direction you have to go in. I have to go the direction I have to go in. And I think that applies, on all levels of, of reality. Whether it's business or even on a personal level. So I'm not bitter at JLB. I have no hard feelings. I wish them the very best, a nice life, and I hope they wish the same for me.
It's funny though. Where would a mojo go if not for the radio? I'm not trying to pry or anything, but it just seems that you're so much a part of the radio, not to go back, and I can completely understand what you're talking about as far as compromising. I wouldn't want to do that, but is there other areas of interest that you have that you could see yourself working in?
Well, I would entertain, syndication in other cities, if they felt that my show was something that, would work, in other areas. I would entertain syndication, with the Detroit base and just satellite.
Oh, but Detroit radio would still be your main bag, though. That's what you're saying?
Right.
Because I was trying to think, forget it, I'll become a carpenter. I didn't know exactly what be out of Detroit radio. But okay, so radio is still the main thing.
But I'm not above being a carpenter. That's what I have to do to survive.
Yeah, they make good money.
Yeah.
Wow. Tell me, now, we've covered some of this here as far as, what you've done here and what's going on and what might be happening. And can you divulge any possibilities at this point? As far as who you've been talking to radio-wise in Detroit, or?
Well, I've talked to a number of stations, and
I take it you don't care to mention who they are right now.
Well, I don't think it would be fair to them and fair to me, because I'm sure, with the type of show that I have and the type of show that I do, they would probably, if no decision is reached, if no deal is reached, they probably wish to remain anonymous. So, but there's a lot of interest in the Metro Detroit area, and I suppose I'll probably end up with a station that I feel is best for me, and they feel that I'm best for them.
Cool. How soon do you think that this might come about? Can you put any reference of time on that when that might go down?
It could happen as early as Labor Day.
Oh, okay. But probably not any earlier than that. So it's still
I would say probably not any earlier, because I'm still under contract with Booth American until August 25th, and as I said before, on July 8th, they took me off the radio. They said I was relieved of my responsibilities as a WJLB radio personality, and unfortunately, they said to the press that I was on vacation, and which, I've not been on vacation, and I'm not on vacation now, and because, I'm under contract with them. If they decide they want me to work until August 25th to do my show, I'm willing to work until August 25th. The date of my commitment. And if they choose to just pay me until that date, I guess you could say I'll be a paid observer, observing life in the metro.
Well, tell me, before we leave this subject, now they came in and relieved you of the duty, but prior to that, there was some negotiations going on, or were there?
Yeah.
I mean, that led to that.
We were negotiating, and
over how long a period of time, more or less?
About a 3-month period.
Okay.
And we were, talking. I was, it just, when I didn't agree with the final piece, or the piece that they had put together, I didn't think it was in my best interest to sign it.
Right.
And I think I have two of the most competent entertainment attorneys in the business, and they didn't think it was in my best interest to sign it. And
did they come to you and say, "Oh, this is your final offer," or anything like that? I mean, did they?
No, they didn't say
it wasn't
final.
Kind of like ultimatum city or anything, was it?
Well, they said it was an ultimatum to the degree that they told me I would not be able to go back on the air until it was signed.
Wow.
Even though that was July 8th and my contract didn't expire, that I was presently working on until it wouldn't expire until August 25th. So I didn't understand the logic of taking me off, but like I said before, it's their radio station. It belongs to them, and I belong to me, and I was not going to sign it.
Yeah.
Because, I could have signed the contract and got a lot of money. I don't think I would have gotten much sleep.
Oh, good point.
Mm-hmm.
That's a real good point. There's a lot of people who jump for the coin, and
head for the ruin.
Yeah, end up paying for it in other ways later on. Let me just change gears. Let's talk. You mentioned about being on the radio since '77. Fill me in a little bit in your background. Well, you said, were you born in Detroit, by the way?
No, from Arkansas.
Really?
Yeah, a planet called Arkansas.
Wow.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Whereabouts?
Little Rock.
In Little Rock.
Right.
Wow. And how was it you came to Detroit? Did you grow up here, or did you grow up there?
No, I thought I wanted to become an attorney. And so so I headed to Ann Arbor for the University of Michigan. I attended school in Ann Arbor, and I later came to grips with the fact that I was already doing what I wanted to do,
which was
radio.
Oh, you were doing radio. Were you doing radio at the university then?
No, at a rock and roll station down in Ann Arbor, WAAM.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure enough.
Yeah, I started there in '72.
Wow.
And I was there until '76, and that's what I wanted to do. I thought I wanted to be an attorney. I think I was just probably a victim of the Perry Mason syndrome. I was melodramatically inspired by Perry, and
that's funny.
Because I think a lot of people, they look at different careers that are glamorous. They say, well, that's what I want to do, but I think each person is different. Perry, as the attorney he portrayed on TV, he was a brilliant attorney.
Right.
But if the whole world were attorneys, you know what I mean, then some higher order of jurisprudence would have to prevail.
Hey, wait a minute. Now, how the heck did you get into radio from going to law school? What was the connection there with radio and yourself? Did you always kind of always a music fan, always listening, or with your finger sort of on the pulse, or?
Okay, well, I didn't actually make it to law school. I was headed because I knew that that the University of Michigan had one of the best law schools in the country.
Okay.
But see, I started in radio in high school.
Oh.
And
this is still in
Little Rock.
Okay.
And it was just a natural progression. Then I went to the Air Force and I worked radio in the Air Force. Well, it wasn't armed force radio. I was in the Philippines, and I worked at a radio station off base in the Philippines. And while I was there, I learned to speak the language. So I did a show like in English and Tagalog.
Oh, wow.
And
out in the boondocks, right?
no, it was right in the city of Angeles City, right outside. Clark Air Force Base was right there in Angeles City. It was a pretty large city.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I left when I got out of the Air Force. I went back to radio in Little Rock, and then, like in '72, that's when I moved to Ann Arbor, and it was WAM was kind of radio station, and just living in Ann Arbor, the whole Ann Arbor experience. It's just like Ann Arbor is just it's a small world, like you could stand on any day at University and I forget the name of that street.
Oh, like State Street there.
University and State. You can stand at any day. You can see the whole world walking by.
That's right. See Shaky Jake walking by.
Hey, you remember Shaky Jake?
I saw him a couple of days ago.
You did?
He's still there. I was worried because I hadn't seen him in months and months and months, and he tooled into the pantry one day. This was only Thursday night, I think it was. Last Saturday. He's there. Man's still there.
3 weeks before my last show at WJLB, I was talking about Shaky Jake on the radio, and I said, if anyone sees Shaky Jake down in Ann Arbor, tell him Mojo said hi.
He's there.
Yeah.
He's it's funny. That's
he's
cool.
a living legend.
He is.
Yeah.
He is, and he still dresses as flamboyantly as ever.
Yeah.
Dragging that guitar too. Well, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Oh, no, I was glad to hear about it.
Oh, yeah.
I was glad to hear about it.
Yeah. But you're saying it's almost like its own little world in Ann Arbor. You sit in the corner of State and Southern University and...
Yeah. So you see, when you see that, you realize that the world is not really that large. It's just spacious. It's spacious, and you see the whole world, and I said, wow, here I am on the radio every night, I just wanted to do my show, to reach the world that I saw, and in the world, when I go on the radio, I just see the people as being a world, as opposed to narrowing people down to core groups and saying, okay, these are the people we want to reach right here. Why narrow yourself down to a small demographic? You say these are the people I want to reach, when there are millions of people out there, that are potential listeners.
Exactly.
So that's why I don't believe in formats. I believe in movements. Because we all don't conform, but we all have moods.
That's right.
We all don't do the same thing, but we all feel the same things.
Maybe not at the same time.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, okay, so you were at WHAM until '76, and then you made the leap into the Detroit market.
Right.
Were you at JLB then?
GPR.
GP, that's right.
Right.
GPR. And you were there for how long?
For 5 years.
5 years. Right, and that's where the Mojo mystique took over, more or less. Or were you Mojo at WHAM too?
Right.
So
I did the same show.
Okay. So then you went to GPR and then to JLB in
82.
82. Okay. So, but it's been basically the same format with you've had the same kind of control, more or less.
Right.
Okay. So it's evolved all this time, and so you got a pretty good handle on exactly what you do. I can certainly understand why anybody kind of cage that, it would be, messing with the whole concept of that. Tell me, if you can, a little bit about the concept of it, the idea with the mothership and the Midnight Funk Association. How did you, where did some of that come from? Are these just things you picked up over time? I mean, it's a real interesting notion. I mean, when you sit down and listen to your show working, I mean, it's almost as if you can see this thing being built as you're doing the show. I mean, that you're connecting in with this whole little strata of people out there who maybe would go undetected by the light of day or something like that. How is it that you arrived at that concept?
It's just looking at the reality, of a moment, what people feel, day by day, night after night. Just looking at, what happens, to their lives, how, events, whether they're, international or, national or just local, how they, affect the psyche. It's just tuning into the reality of the moment and into the moods the moods that people experience.
That's real important to you, though, isn't it? The mood. I mean,
that's it. That's the key.
How is it that you kind of detect that? I mean, when you go, is it just the way that you feel from coming in, or is it once you get behind the controls at the radio station, or don't you differentiate between the outside world and coming in to do your radio program? Yeah.
Well, I believe in telepathic communication, and though the kind of telepathic communication I believe in is definitely subliminal, but you can I could just feel it,
Oh, so you're picking the vibes up.
Yeah, I can just pick them up out of the atmosphere. I can just drive to work. See how people drive. See how they walk down the street. See people walking through the park. See bag people. Standing on the corner. Watching people, watching their eyes. How they. Look at each other, how they look at buildings, whether, it's just all different kind of antennas.
I was just going to say, you're an antenna, aren't you?
Yeah.
Picking up those signals.
Yeah, and then when I go on the air, I just transmit what I've seen. I just, musically arrange, everything that I've seen.
It's like a medium.
Yeah, it is.
Like a spiritual medium between.
Right.
Wow.
So, that's why you can't really have anyone else, like saying, this is the way we want it done. Because they don't really have the power to tell me how to do it. Because they don't know what I'm doing. So, so that's what happened with the JLB. I wasn't going to put myself in a position, just for the money, to be boxed into a format that may have been too wide for me, it may have been too small for me.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, you never know once you sort of cut yourself off in some ways from that vibe that you're feeling. Once you kind of mess with it, it's just like a piece of art, you don't want to go tamper with it.
Right.
Like
it's like yes, I guess it's like someone trying to tell, like you said, a painter how to paint,
right,
or a singer how to sing, How do you tell Luther Vandross how to sing Superstar? How you tell Mick Jagger how to sing Brown Sugar?
Right.
How you tell Jimi Hendrix how to play his guitar?
That's right. These are sometimes you think powers from beyond telling them what to do. So it's like, who knows what, how can another man come and tell him about it?
Yeah.
I know exactly how you feel about it. Yeah, that would, they should rock the boat, I guess, is what the situation is all about. As far as working in Detroit radio, now you saw a lot of things going on. You see a lot of things happening out there in the world, as you just mentioned. But from your perspective in the radio market, can you kind of tell us about what's, what you've seen on the inside, how you feel about Detroit as a radio market, what you think about the tastes of, the people that you deal with and I say the market, I use the term loosely, but the people who call you up, or just you're dealing with other business people, and is that just, can you give me some observations about working within that market?
I think Detroit radio is just as good as any radio in the country, and I think a lot of radio stations just say, well, this is the route we feel like we have to take to be successful, and they take it. Sometimes I agree and sometimes I don't agree, but I say, well, since they belong to them, they have a right to make that decision.
Yeah.
I'm not going that way.
Right.
I'll catch you guys later.
But that's a sort of the business thing. But have you noticed any for better or for worse since you got into the Detroit market?
Yeah, I think it's opened up dramatically. I think when I first got here, it was pretty much locked in radio, to mildew traditions.
What do you think opened that up in that time? Do you think it's just the audience, or do you think it was the people in the station kind of like tuning into the people better? Or?
I think it was the people. I think people opened it up a lot because the people just kind of like said, hey, just because you got mildew, on your brain, you know what I mean? We have miles to go before we sleep. And it's like, you have white kids buying Prince, and you had black kids buying B-52s.
Right.
I mean, it's a vibe, and I think when I first got here, just like you wouldn't have heard Prince like in 1978, on a white formatted station, and you wouldn't have heard the Jay Gowser band on a black formatted station. This is okay. This is our pile right here. Okay, this is your pile over there. Then you got the jazz stations. This is our pile right here. So the listeners they had to make too many stops. It's like shopping in a downtown area. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You had to walk in the rain sometimes. Trying to get to the right store. Whereas, I guess my approach is more like a downtown mall. Hey, you do not have to leave this umbrella to get what you want. Because I'm not gonna stay on any one thing too long. Because sometimes I'm in a rock and roll mood. Sometimes I'm in a new wave mood. Sometimes I'm in a funk mood. Sometimes I'm in a ballad mood. Love songs. And sometimes, I just want to scream.
You can cover that. As far as now, when you get into, as far as picking your stuff, you say you really pretty much rely on mood. You never sit down and, when you get into the station, you've got your feel on what it is. You've already picked up your mood, as you mentioned before. Will you just go to the library and pick out a bunch of stuff, or do you just kind of work as you go? I'm just wondering about your actual working.
So I have a basic set of records that I keep, and then depending on which way I want to swing out, I got a swing stack.
About about how many would you say is in that basic stack?
About 25 albums.
Okay.
No 45s. I hate 45s.
You hate 45s? Too little, or just not enough music?
I don't like them. I just,
That's interesting. Huh.
And I don't like cards.
You like what? Cards. Oh.
I like albums.
Oh, great.
Only albums, because each album has its own personality. The personality of an album is built into the vinyl. And I'm strictly albums.
Tell me, I'm looking here where I want to hit next on here. Okay, from where do you see, now from working in the market, you got your finger in a lot of those different musics. From your vantage point, where do you see the music locally or even nationally? Where do you see some of that music going over the next maybe 6 months or so? Is there any kind of opinion that you have on the way that music's going now? There's a lot of things that are affected between crossover markets in this area, and as you mentioned about Prince getting played on white stations, and vice versa. There's a lot of different things that are evolving. Is there any perceptions that you have about music moving up the road a piece? Just along?
I see music going more in. Okay, this would be the category, and it's kind of long now. So it's music right now. Like the ultimate sound right now is a funk, new wave, pop, rockadelic crossover.
You're right. It's a pretty broad range, huh?
I mean, I think first of all, people like they want lyrics that they can relate to. I mean, they gotta have lyrics that they can relate to. Otherwise, the song is not complete. And they want a beat that they can dance to, or one that is overwhelmingly mentally provocative. And they want lyrics that offers direction. And if it's not a lyric that offers direction, or one that blatantly explains the truth, then they want a lyric that's just obnoxiously silly.
Now that's the way, sort of, as you see things developing. Recipe for success, maybe. Wow. As far as do you think then? So, okay, looking at that on one hand, do you think that things are going to continue to expand as far as the market goes? At least in Detroit.
I think a lot of it depends on record companies. What do they want to push? What do they want to push? Where are their heads? And from time to time, I have a good idea where their heads are, but you never know. Every once in a while, their heads and the financial projection agree.
Oh man, yeah. But
because sometimes you got record execs, who sit in their surrealistic corporate environments and partake of experiences that street people just dream about. See on TV in surrealistic commercials, and they sit there, all reared back, looking out at the river, caviar, and when they hear a hit song comes in, they can't feel it. They have no connection with it. They're not psychically in tune to what this person is experiencing. But when a song comes in, that's nice. I mean, how can you listen to music from the streets of America on the cassette with music piped in through them?
Right. There's no connection.
It's a reality clash. And so when you got fresh, execs, fresh from the street, and are fresh from a moving experience that life has afforded them, they can relate, to what people are saying. And man, it's disgusting to sit and go through a stack of albums. It's disgusting to think of the awesome financial implications of just what it took to compile these albums. And to have all of them turn out to, it's
like bunches of them.
It's disgusting and it's ridiculous. It's sickening and it's boring.
Do you ever have the urge yourself, that you've been involved in music, and of course in the radio, do you ever have the urge to become involved in actual musical projects one way or another? I say that because it seemed to me that I heard from, maybe it was through Ron or whatever, at one time there was talk about you maybe working with Was guys on a rap thing or something like that. I don't know if that was letting any cats out of any bags, but I thought I heard something at one point. But I don't know if that's your style at all.
No, I've never really. Yeah, I'm not a singer, and right now I'm just jockey. So
that's not your interest to get into the performing end of stuff.
No, that's not my interest. Because with the right kind of format, and that's the only way I'm going to work with the right kind of format. I can still say what I want to say. Maybe somewhere down the line, now I just might have something that I want to do, a project I want to do, but I would never do it, while I'm in radio for a financial benefit.
That's right, there's trouble.
If I were to do a project like that, I would donate the money to a scholarship fund, something like that. I could see getting involved in a project like that, because I make donations, like to Focus on Cabbage and Soup Kitchen. I just feel the need to get involved, with other people.
That's sort of some of the things you're planning on doing in the upcoming show that you mentioned about.
That's one second.
Amongst many, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Let me hit on this spot here before I run off. I was going to ask you, what turns you on musically these days, either nationally or locally? I don't want to put you on the spot like having me name your favorite local musicians or anything like that, but is there sort of any particular stuff that currently is hot with you?
Rap music right now is extremely hot. Hip hop music is hot. But I'm in the process right now of just listening, because this is the first time in a while that I've just been off the air and I don't have access to the steady flow of stuff coming in. But I've just set up a system to get product now. So I'll September rolls around. I'm gonna have a musically just a whole show of different stuff. The best of what's I'm gonna play. It's gonna be different.
Do you see, do you know of, or have you seen your show or your particular style being imitated by anybody, either around here or elsewhere?
No.
I mean, obviously there's only one Mojo, but I'm just wondering if you think that you've ever heard tell anybody else pulling it.
I've heard that there were some other places, trying to do a similar type format, but I haven't heard for myself, what they think. But I think in order for me to do what anyone else is doing, I would have to feel it.
Yeah.
And in order for anybody to do what I do, I think they would have to feel the same things that I feel. And if there are other people out there that feel that way, God bless them.
I started to ask before about the idea with, the sort of cosmic aspects, the Midnight Funk Association and the Mothership. Did you say that was something that you had from back even at Wham? And that?
Yeah, I was doing a real cosmic thing down at Wham. Because, I just got vibes from people that I saw. I just said, hey, this is a real small world, it's just a small, wild planet.
Now, when you were talking about the Mothership, is that almost what you mean? That kind of group of people? It always conjures up an idea of, something coming down and taking you to a new place for a while. What your program does, kind of takes you out of that old, sometimes dreary reality or whatever your own little, thing might be, that better for worse, but I just thought I'd ask you, some more significance about that whole idea.
Yeah, it's like I wanted to do something that would be mind-boggling to a degree. I wanted to do things to make people think. That's what I like my show to do. And I like for people to listen and just think. Just to get a positive flash, and just to consider things I've never thought about before. And I like the things that I do just to give people the end results. I like for it to create a rush of ideas, positive thoughts. Because I think a lot of people walk around bored, delirious, depressed, out of touch, harboring negative vibrations. And I think they just need to shake those. Just say, hey, you know what I mean? I might be my own worst enemy. All of the doors may not be closed in my face. I may have barricaded myself in, and I believe that we all have our own individual barricades that we build around ourselves, and maybe a lot of that is learned. A lot of it is just strictly done out of tradition, and when you can break down all the barricades around yourself, you can see for real that the barricades that other people build, for you are made of paper mache.
It's great. What about the idea of Midnight Funk Association? I always thought that was the coolest little display of, I don't know, togetherness or solidarity or whatever, just the idea, which is just, I could see kids at home, tuning the radio. What other way to kind of show maybe a unity or whatever to get that going on? How did you come up with that idea?
I was bored one night. I was on the radio and it's around midnight. I was just bored. I was doing the show. And around midnight, the tradition of radio at midnight would be to just cool out and play something mellow. And because we in radio had just taken it up on ourselves to suggest to people that, okay, now, it's bedtime.
Oh, right.
And, but for a lot of people, it wasn't bedtime. A lot of people only come out at night. And just like 12 o'clock noon is the high point for a lot of people. 12 midnight is also a high point for the night people. So, yeah. I mean, do you want to go to crash out at noon? You know what I mean? Got pillows on the freeway. You know what I mean? It's like, so I said, well, I'm not going to be bored anymore at midnight. And for everyone else, if you don't want to be bored, at midnight we're going to get involved. We're going to do something. If you're on the freeway, hump your horn in bed, dance on your back. If you're in water, make waves. Turn your porch light on. And it occurred to me too that a lot of people just sit there and they just wallow in self-pity, because maybe they're alone and they don't have nobody to be with at midnight. And my idea with radio is that, even if you're by yourself, radio is going to be your friend. Because I'm not talking at you, I'm talking to you. And, this is a friend in the box.
That's great. I mean, you're right. It's like a companion. Where like you said, a lot of jocks, it's like a chatter in the background. But it's a different thing. Like tuning your program. Like I sense that too about being somebody talking to you. It gets your attention. It's not a background thing at all. I'm sure that the people they kind of respond. Yeah, tell me about some of the people who call up. Do you the people who, and of course you can't narrow it down at all, but you get a lot of people who feel real positive, obviously. I mean, the kind of numbers that you got, but I would suspect that you'd have a pretty loyal type of a following with your kind of program.
Yeah, the people that listen to me are young, old, black, white, rich, poor, brown, yellow, red. The attorneys, bus drivers, school teachers, street sweepers, bus boys, bus girls, college students, high school students, 9-year-olds, 60-year-olds. When they call up, and I don't know if you answer. Do you answer the phones or do you? Every time I get a chance.
Okay. What kind of vibes do you get from those people? Do you get people who are, I just wanted to get people who are up late, like you said, maybe lonely or whatever. Do you get people who just want to talk, or are they mostly just calling in requests, or I hate to just have you try to peg one thing down or so, but I just kind of wonder. It seems like because it is a special audience in some ways, people are really into it. What is that you seem to get through when they call up? Do they call up?
I get callers saying, Mojo, like, hey, we get ready to have a party now, because it's 10 o'clock, and we're taking the records off. We get ready to turn the radio on. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We got some guests in from out of town, and we tell them about your show. So, kick it out.
Yeah.
I get people calling up. I got, last week I was on air, I got a lady calling up. She told me that she was about to commit suicide.
Wow.
And that she was at the end, and she said she heard me say, because I always come on, hold on tight, don't let go whenever you feel like you're at the end of your ropes, don't slide off, try not to keep hanging, because it ain't nobody bad like you. And she said she heard me say it before, but that night, she really felt it. And she said because her mother had died, and her father was like a drunk, and she was not close to her older brothers and sisters, and she'd broken up with her boyfriend, and she just felt lost, detached, and she said she didn't want to live anymore, and she heard that on the radio, and matter of fact, the engineer said, "Hey Mojo, there's a person on the line that said she's not going to leave the radio until she speaks. She's not going to leave the phone until she speaks to you." He said, "I told you on air." She said, "I don't care." She said, "I'll wait here till 3 o'clock for you to go get him now. So I'm not going to go to the line." And she just wanted to say thank you.
Wow.
And the next day I got a red rose down at the radio station. And it just said from a friend.
Wow. That's cool.
And it's like stuff like that. That's those are the kind of things that would make me say to a radio station, who wanted to, control me, and handcuff me into a format. It doesn't matter how much money they offer. If survival meant washing dishes, I've washed dishes before I signed the contract.
It must give you a real sense of purpose. I mean, a real purpose when stuff like that happens, to be able to touch people in that way, to make it good. It must be so much more than just a job, much more than a paycheck to go in and fill those shoes. And wow. Yeah, that's it. As far as going, does it ever feel like maybe too much? I was going to say, it's not really a burden, but do you ever kind of sit back and go, whoa, I got a lot of power. Am I really prepared to be able to handle this stuff? Or don't you feel it as like a...
No, I don't feel powerful at all.
I mean, I didn't want to say that you feel like a big, powerful guy, but obviously a radio position is a powerful one because whenever you speak to large numbers of people, there's power. You know what I mean?
What I feel like I have to keep my thoughts clean and pure, and I have to. I feel more like a vessel, than a disc jockey. And when I go on the air, it's just like I'm just a sponge. You know what I mean? And I allow myself to be a sponge and to let just positive vibrations kind of like flow. And from a radio perspective, when I look at the arbitron numbers, I feel grateful. I feel gratitude, but I don't feel like I've reached, the mountaintop, because I think, there are a lot of mountains to climb, and when I get on top of one mountain, I don't really, get up there and, wave the flag, I just look, go ahead to the next mountain, that way, it keeps you from reflecting on so much on what you have done, and it keeps your mind on what you got to do.
Look ahead.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good attitude to have. Do you see, at this point, you see up ahead, you're looking up there, you probably just sort of one mountain that you're about to get over here, but from where you can see right now, does it seem like things can be cool up the road, though?
Yeah, because life is it's a series of, for me, it's a series of tunnels and brilliant bursts of sunshine. And just like I know when I'm in the light, in the brilliance, feeling the intensity of the sun rays. I mean, I don't get too comfortable because I know, that a tunnel awaits me. And when I'm in a tunnel, I don't feel too depressed because I know the sun is coming back out again.
Kind of tempers things that way, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Let me see if I got some other questions on here. Yeah, I had one written down here. What is it that you think is your special appeal? But I guess in a way we've covered that in that. Well, as far as the way that you do radio is not like a DJ, but you were saying more as an antenna. But beyond that, do you think do you sort of understand what it is about your style, about your way of doing things, about yourself that appeals so much to that audience out there?
Well, I don't talk at them, not talk to them. I don't walk above them, not walk among them. So they don't have to put me on a pedestal, because I don't need to be. I don't feel the need to be there. And I'm just a face in the crowd, and I'm just another person that they encounter, in their journey through life. And so I know who they are, but they don't know who I am.
That's the way that you'd rather keep it, though, huh?
Yeah.
Keeping that low-profile thing.
Yeah.
So much different than a lot of other air personalities who certainly make it a point to make personal appearances. I mean, just kind of off the record, people like Arthur Penhollow who are like, what am I trying to say? Big figureheads of the radio station or whatever, I just mentioned him in passing because there's certainly a lot of other people who become these big personalities almost beyond their function in radio. But it's quite so much different than what you do, which is like you said, you walk down the street, very few people are going to know who you are except probably your personal friends.
Well, it's like, the people, like I just say, to each their own. It's because radio is such a wild business until sometimes people say, well, the only reward I feel is the only touch that I have, and just knowing that I'm appreciated, is to be seen so people can see me and come up and say, hey, I know you exist. Because sometimes, jocks have to put up with so much, BS at these different stations, and sometimes, they're cloned to the point where they just need for people to know that they exist. I'm real, you know what I mean? I put up with a lot of BS, just to do what I want to do for you. So here I am, at least, wave at me if you see me, say hi. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's kind of like what they were saying. But I guess, I get my rewards from having done it. From having experienced a magic moment that I felt that some communication took place. And I don't really have to be saluted for the past, because I probably won't hear it anyway, because I'm still reaching for another stuff.
While the ship keeps moving.
Yeah.
Too fast to hear the hand claps. Tell me, now, there was another question out here. Because of the success of the kind of format that you work with, do you see anybody else in the Detroit market coming up with a format, an urban contemporary format that would rival yours? I mean, I don't know if you have knowledge there, but do you think there's anybody else that's kind of like looking at the figures here and saying, maybe we can get a guy to do that?
There are a lot of talented DJs out there, and there are people who could come up with formats that could rival, and I think it'd be good for radio.
Oh, you think it would be good for it? Because JLB is really the only urban contemporary, whatever they like to call that format, station that's with any power that's on the market. And you think though that to have another one come on would be a good thing though, right?
Yeah, good for radio. See, like I welcome competition, and when I'm on the radio, I have no fear, and I welcome competition. because I'm going to do what I'm going to do anyway.
Regardless, it's
Yeah.
like, you don't have to play no contests or any of that other stuff like some, you know. And
Yeah, because when I don't have anyone to compete with, I just compete against myself.
if somebody else came along, it might change the thing a little bit. But I mean, it's a wide open kind of a market, at least for right now. Hopefully, we'll see something open up the road here,
Right.
Real soon. Who took your time slot, by the way?
Walter Neal.
Uh-huh.
He was my engineer.
I see.
At one time, at WJ.
Uh-huh.
We worked together nightly, and he's also part of the Masonry company.
Which is
He's a good job.
with the
Morning show.
oh, I see what you
He's a tuna man on the morning show. And he's a good distractor. And I wish him the best.
Right. Are you still able to, is it tough for you to, like, I'm sure that you made friends there with people in the station. Is it tough to deal with him, as people? I mean, now that you're not there working, or?
No, the funny thing, every station I've ever worked at, I've never, tried to walk above anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've always been family. And whether it's WAAM in Ann Arbor and Dave Wagner, who's now at WQRS, a good friend of mine. I work with him at WAAM, we still talk. And the jocks at WGPR, like Marvelous Mars, and the other people over there at JLB. We all family. We still family.
Oh, that's cool. So even despite any of the sort of corporate business that goes on.
Yeah, I separate corporate from personal.
That's cool. That's good. So you're not, when you leave a situation as such, it's not like you got to break off contacts with all those people.
Right.
That's cool.
You just break off diplomatic relationships.
Exactly. At these levels up here or whatever. Wow. How old are you, Mojo? If you can divulge.
Yeah, I'm really ageless.
Okay.
I've always been here, and I expect to always be around.
That's cool.
And, in one form or another.
Right.
I'll change forms.
Life forms.
Yeah. I'm a new and an old spirit.
A what?
I said I'm a new and an old spirit.
Oh, yeah. Right, on a metaphysical level. I just thought I'd ask that as a factual question, because sometimes going to get background and all that stuff. I think I've pretty much covered the whole ground here. Is there anything that maybe I've missed that maybe you want to comment on, or?
Now, I think that this interview, has been, one of the most thorough and probing that I've done. And, as a matter of fact, you have things that go through your mind sometimes, and you really never have to verbalize them.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just thoughts that you never express. And while we were doing the interview, I just thought how wild it was. You were kind of like getting me to say things that I never said out loud.
Picking your brain, huh?
Yeah, you picked it apart.
Well, I was hoping that I wouldn't ask any questions that were too obvious, or stuff that you answered about a zillion times or anything.
No.
That makes me feel
As a
good.
matter of fact, if I could get a copy of the tape one.
No problem.
Not for censorship, but
No. I'll make a dub for you.
I might open my show up with you. I might do open my show up with an interview one night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It'd be wild just run the interview in segments.
Oh, that would be wild. I mean, people hearing your radio host like picked apart little by little on a tape or something.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Anything else to say? We'll wrap it up then.
That's it.
Okay.